We're live. Is everybody ready that we are live? We are live. Are you ready?
No.
Are you ready?
Yep.
Okay. So I'm about to change the scene for all the people out there who've been anxiously awaiting the AfterBuzz. Okay, so we're back. Sorry for the delay. Buzz had to go to the store. He took a really long. What'd you do with the Whoppers, man?
No, I'm gonna.
Come on.
You're ruining his entrance, Brandon.
That's totally cool. Hold on. Oh, shut up. I like it when chocolate balls are in my mouth.
They're Whoppers.
Okay, so anyway, welcome to another edition of the AfterBuzz. Nico, get in the shot here properly. We're kind of winging this one, playing it by ear. We had some mic issues. We figured out why the one microphone wasn't working. The batteries were dead. So, as we're here, we just have to kind of deal with certain things in life that you normally have to deal with. He's going crotch face. He's going crotch face. Should I stand up or should I stay down? Oh, God!
I should have expected you to go crotch face.
Oh, God, he touched his butt.
Dirty
I touched his butt.
You dirty man.
So, all right, so are we good?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. All right, so we got the microphone working. Nico, you want any popcorn?
No, yeah,
you sure? Because you know what's really enjoyable for the listener? Us chewing.
Yeah.
That's something I learned.
Just watching us eat. That's what they really wanted.
Don't they do weird Japanese videos like that?
Mm-hmm.
This is really good. You get this at the dollar store? Mm-hmm. You don't like it?
Something's wrong with the butter. It's like it's pre-buttered, but
it's because it's direct from the movie theater. It's probably too
Nico and I were talking about this. What they probably do is they take the movie popcorn, and then they just package it up like this at the end of the day. Like whatever's left over, that's what you're eating. But it is gluten-free.
Really?
That's what it says right on the package.
I think all popcorn is gluten-free.
Gluten-free.
I don't know why they had to.
All right.
What's up?
Well, anyway, so
oh my God,
what?
you can see right through the bag.
Oh, is it because it's a shade of green that's not getting picked up on the camera?
It's yellow. I mean, it's popcorn colored, but look at that. It's
yeah.
an empty bag.
Oh, my sweater too.
Yeah, because it's slightly green. Oh my God! It's the Back to the Future photo. We need to go make sure that our parents have sex. Otherwise, Nico's gone.
You got to find Doc Brown.
I can't finish Johnny Be Good on my guitar.
All right. So anyway, we'll get to the main topic that we were talking about today. Happens to be the what we were talking about on the air.
When you go into a movie theater or even a live performance, and you got to get back in the aisle and everybody's seated, do you point your crotch toward the people, or do you point your butt toward the people?
The person that's sitting, like the person that's going to be in the row that you're in, not the person in front of you.
Because
the back of their head is to you.
You would like to just be giving them the side.
But
ideally,
you can't. Usually, you
No,
can't.
they've crammed seats so small now that there's no way that you can fit in that way. So you have to make the decision. As we learned from Buzz, he swings both ways. He gave Nico his crotch and he gave me his butt. Is that what you normally do?
I knew he would do that.
No, I don't know what I normally do. I'll try and notice the next time. I think maybe I switch it up. I'm not sure.
What about you, Nico?
I'm not a switch. I like to be on top. Oh, is this not the same thing?
No, different topic.
Okay.
Different topic.
I probably would go butt because I just don't like the idea of somebody smelling my crotch.
Okay, so here we're going to test it out. So you need to walk around to this side, and you need to get past Buzz and I. We're going to be here eating.
How much does personal hygiene come into play? Like,
take the Whoppers.
Like, when's the last time you washed your balls?
I think I washed my balls, but I'm not,
All right. Like, you didn't wipe your butt properly, but your balls are clean? No, you got to stay over here. Because you got to come across this way. So here, this is your seat. We're what movie's coming out that you're looking forward to?
There's no way it would be like this. There's just no way.
Wreck-It Ralph is soon in theaters. We're going to be watching Wreck-It Ralph.
Come on.
Okay, well, I would try. Excuse me,
sir.
Sure.
Oh.
And then sometimes they're tall.
Well,
so
like that is like that's
Excuse me,
that's
sir.
very abrasive.
I apologize.
Like you're
sorry, ma'am.
Ooh, you smell good.
No.
You put on cologne?
That's right.
So
Do you shower?
That's expression.
Or is it to cover up the lack of shower?
No, I showered today. I woke up at 5.
You do shower and cologne on a normal basis?
Yeah, every day. I go to bed with cologne because I like to smell good while I sleep.
All right, so
That
the way you
seems
went
odd.
in, crotch facing, is that your natural inclination? It would be to do that?
My natural one is to look you. I want to see
Make
what
sure
you're like.
you can apologize. Yeah, there's something to be said for that.
You guys don't twist your body at all? So you're kind of like if you give them, but you turn this way, so you can kind of see what you're getting in for. Because another thing too that you need to be very wary of is that frequently people will put their drinks on the floor. Oh, yeah. Like this might be down here, and there's one thing that you don't want to do, especially if you're at, let's say, the Plaza Theater. If that bottle gets knocked over and it starts rolling, that fucker's gone. Mm-hmm. I did that with a full bottle of water at the Lion King this year, and that sucked.
I think there's some factors. Is the person a tall person? Do they look like they're willing to stand up and give you room? Do they have their legs crossed? You know, do
you generally stand up? Like if you're gonna go, somebody's gonna cross in front of you.
I do like a half stand. You know,
so you kind of do, and you put your butt like because usually the seats in a movie theater are about right here.
Yeah.
Or
I kind of do a half stand. Try and give them some room.
Hey,
so you went like this. I go like this when I do it.
Somebody brought up a good point. They did talk about this in the movie.
Which movie?
They're saying Fight Club. I don't remember Fight Club. I do remember like the conversation about what you give somebody, your butt or your crotch.
Your butt or your crotch.
Yeah. But it's good to think about, you know, re-up some of your knowledge on what you think about.
So
I like to think that I'm like disrespecting somebody, so I might as well give them my front and like confront them.
Excuse me. Sorry, allergic to gummy worms.
That's gross.
All right, here's one for you. Say that you were in a theater and it just so happened Sofia Vergara were in the same row that you were at the theater, and she was going to come through and make her way. Would you rather?
Would you intentionally? I was going to say, would you intentionally lean forward?
Would you rather have front or back from Sofia Vergara?
I think I would be like a deer in the headlights and not know what to do. I just let it hit me.
What if what if she gives you the back and she rips a fart? Like, is that when you want to know is Sofia Vergara from them on?
It'd be an honor.
You think it would be an honor to be farted on by Sofia Vergara?
I mean, I haven't thought it through, but yeah, it seems like it would be an honor.
What if it was like a super gross, like ass clapper?
That'd be gross.
She's not that kind of gal.
Bullshit!
You're telling me you wouldn't want to see her face and burn that into your eyes before?
Because imagine that too. Imagine if she's giving you the front and she's doing this. All right, scoot out. I'm not myself. I'm Sofia Vergara. You ready? Okay, so she's coming in.
All right.
Oh, excuse me. And she comes in and she gives you this right here.
Sophia.
Oh, yeah.
She gives you this right here.
If she did.
Oh, Buzzley.
Now you guys are just stripping for each other. That was unnecessary.
What? That was not unnecessary. That was
gratuitous and unnecessary.
But see, at that point, if you get a front, you're getting the full chesticles.
Have you ever had anybody say something like because you've been out and in too much? I never have.
You can never be in and out too much.
I haven't because I'm usually like I know how upsetting it is, especially like man, the Chavez Theater is got to be one of the worst ones in the country when it comes to this.
I try to be considerate.
That's a full row for the whole venue. Like there are no aisles that you can shoot up.
Yeah.
It's like 70 seats across.
Yeah, so if you're in the middle, you're going at least past 30 people.
I don't think I've ever met somebody that has just blatantly disrespected that line, like that's just gone back and forth between.
I heard somebody say something to a kid one time.
Wow.
It's like in or out, choose one, or something like that.
I mean, if they are doing it that much, yeah. Choose one.
What, is it at a movie theater?
Yeah.
Was it an old guy?
What about the parents? Was the parent there? Or was this like a kid, like a teenager?
I think it was one of my friends when I was a kid. We used to get dropped off at the theater, and I think we
get the whole glob.
And it wasn't okay. The way I remember it is.
Wait, so you were a kid?
Yeah, it was my friend Pete Blanchard. So I think the thing was there were a lot of kids in the theater, and the guy who complained was older. Yeah, he was probably in his 40s, 30s. He didn't know which kid it was, but it was just like he was fed up, so he told.
Like it's just constant back and forth.
In or out, choose one. You know.
No, well, that doesn't seem so bad.
In or out, choose one.
So earlier topic we were talking about too. And we'll wrap up with this. We're bringing up.
It's
no,
over
not yet.
Already?
No. We'll come back to this conversation. Was we were talking about the best movie intros earlier, and did anybody mention the 03 Dawn of the Dead? That's a pretty damn good movie intro right there. I'll tell you that. Like that one.
Remind me of how that one goes.
So that's the one that starts out
Is
where
that the remake of Dawn of the Dead?
Yeah. What's the chick's name? Kind of the main one. It was like Sarah something, I think. So she's driving home. She runs into
Ving Rhames.
Well, he's in it, but not yet. So she's driving home. And she sees the little girl, and she says hi, and yada, yada, yada. And she's like, oh, hey, if you're going rollerblading, I'll rollerblade with you tomorrow. She goes home. She has sex with her husband in the shower. They go to bed. They wake up. And then that's when the little girl's standing there. She's like missing half her face right here. And she's standing, and she runs in and attacks. She runs in and attacks the husband. Just
kills the husband.
Rips his throat out. So she's freaking out. She ends up falling in the bathtub. She climbs out, and then she gets in the car, and then that's when he chases her, and then boom. Yeah, Sarah Polley, that's who it was. And then
it goes into a great pick for a soundtrack. Do you remember what it was?
You're talking about the Richard Cheese? Oh, yeah.
There's a man going around taking names.
Yeah, because in the middle is when they go into the Richard Cheese version of Disturbed's Down with the Sickness. Oh,
Come on, your mother, get down with the sickness.
So yeah, and she's driving through, and like all shit's going like breaking loose, and there's fires everywhere. And I remember the one scene is the camera's panning out, and it shows her driving down this road. I think they're in Wisconsin, aren't they? For some reason, I honestly
they're
in Wisconsin.
They're in L.A.
No, they're not.
No, they're not in LA.
Definitely not. Well,
no, I swear they're in Wisconsin. Like something in the
movie
reminds me of Wisconsin. But anyway, so they were. It's panning out like the car. It's filming the car on the street, and as it keeps panning out, it's further and further and further. And then you can kind of see it coming. There's this car that's flying down the road, and it's super panned out at this point. And it flies through, and it crashes with this other car, and it flies into a gas station, and fucking boom, and it erupts in this just gigantic fireball. See, Eli's telling me it was Wisconsin. See, I knew it was Wisconsin. I'm not that dumb. But yeah, if you guys have any other good movie intros that we haven't mentioned yet, by all means. I think Saving Private Ryan is probably top dog.
What about 28 Days Later?
That one was brought up. It was 28 weeks later was the one that got brought up.
28 Days Later started
where he's just walking around like the streets.
No, I thought it started with the experiment on
the
lab, like
I don't think it's the opening, technically the opening scene, the one where he's walking around.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I'd have to see it again. I could be wrong. I thought the opening scene was like the animal activist breaking into the lab and letting the rage monkey out of his cage.
Yeah, that's the opening scene.
Yeah,
and
right.
then, I mean, now don't get me wrong. I mean, if you want to kind of mold that,
but it doesn't count. No, there are some movies that definitely fit the criteria. And you're right. It has to be the first scene.
Mm-hmm. And that's where a lot of these ones, like Reservoir Dogs, it's the tipping scene, like
or
Pulp Fiction, where it's the diner scene. Patton, when he's giving the speech. Mm-hmm. I was pretty glad nobody else came up with that one, too. I was feeling pretty good. What in the world are you doing there, buddy? Are you
eating gummy worm?
Why are you playing with your worm?
You got a nervous. Yeah, why are you playing with your worm on the AfterBuzz, man? So anyway, let's get back to the conversation here. So Buzz says that there's a lot of stipulations in regards to do you give ass or crotch when it comes to crossing in front. It could be movie theater. It could be at a stadium for a sporting event.
So let me mention the plane. When you get on a plane, and if you have the window seat.
Yeah, but there's only 3 seats, and generally everybody gets up.
Yeah, but those seats are a lot closer than the movie.
Well, okay, so let me show you this is how I do the plane, all right? All right, scoot back.
Oh, sorry. Oh, sorry.
Okay.
Gross.
But see, this is why I do what I do on the plane. So you've got the seat rest, right? Mm-hmm. So when you slide in, let's say I need to get to that seat, okay? I need to get to the middle one. So all I do is just kind of, and you go on your tippy toes, and then you swing it around. You swing your butt around. You just kind of, wham, like that. You see? Uh-huh. It's like one fluid movement. And hopefully the person's kind of moved back enough that it's not going to be an issue. But you just kind of, swing it around.
So you have a technique. You've thought about this.
Yeah. I'm all about techniques.
I like to improvise. So when I come through,
over this way.
So we're sitting here and reading
it's more
newspaper.
About reading the situation. Like, do they have?
Are we in a theater or an airplane?
It's important because do you have a newspaper? All right.
Not in a theater. I don't. I might on an airplane.
All right. If you're at a theater, you might have your playbill. All right, or your pamphlets or whatever. So
you're talking about an actual play. You're not talking about a movie theater. Okay. Well, we're reading. How about that?
Yeah. If you're reading, I don't want to give you my front. All right, because I don't want to get my crotch all over what you're reading. You're staring at something, so I'm just going to go.
Yeah, but then you're wiping your ass on it.
Yeah. Well.
What?
He has conditioned my response. I was telling him right now, in the hallway, I dropped my charger, and I scared myself when I dropped my own charger.
You're so used to Brandon.
Brandon just scares me randomly throughout the day now.
Well, here's the thing. So, I don't even try to scare him anymore. Well, no, I take it back. I do try to scare him. Like earlier today when he left, right before we were doing the AfterBuzz, I followed him all the way down the hallway and
out to the parking lot. Like he's stalking me here.
yeah. But I've learned, like, there's a couple times where I do it kind of quiet, where I'm like, "Hi, Nico," and then I get a little bit of a jump. But if I over accentuate the scare, then I get a nice big reaction out of Nico. And I think I've compiled enough videos at this point to warrant editing the video, I don't have to actually scare you anymore.
Are you gonna make it like just one big super cut of?
Yeah, it's just gonna be like a boom, 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 boom. Here's the best stuff when it comes to scaring Nico. So you've got your own technique when it comes to,
if you read the situation, like what are they doing? Like if you have something in your hand, I don't want my crotch being in your focus area because you have something in your hands already. So,
well, but I mean, if they're looking at that, then they're not going to be looking at your crotch.
Well, a magazine's a little smaller. I mean, you pull it back and they're already used to looking at you.
You think that like if it's a magazine, they'll kind of give you one of these where they're just looking over the top,
and then they just reach out.
Who reaches out?
No touching the merchandise.
So I guess it's really just kind of a matter of personal preference. Is really what it is.
Yeah.
I think. And I don't know about you guys. I was gonna say this is probably universal.
Oh, Ashley made a good point. She says she gives ass only to show it off.
No, I mean,
I don't have a lot to show off. So,
but it was the one thing that I definitely do, no matter where I'm going. If it's in an airplane, if it's a movie theater, if it's a stadium, whatever it is, I immediately go tiptoes. Like, don't you? Because the other thing too is if somebody's sitting down, you could step on their feet, and you don't want to do that, right?
Tiptoes.
And we're all relatively large men with decent sized feet, and you don't want to be clod hopping.
No, that means
big shoes.
And big.
But okay, so do you?
I'd have
tiptoe or not?
I
mean, you can't because you're broken foot, but
I haven't put that much thought into it. I don't know. I just try and keep it to a minimum, and whichever way seems to be
path of least resistance.
Yeah, path of least resistance is
which, in the case of Phantom of the Opera, he gave up and left.
I like to just whip it out and just rub it all across people on my way down. It's not like I'm not.
No, you do that. That you give the butt, and then what you do is you drag your balls on the tops of the heads of the people in front of you.
Oh, what if you're at a strip club and it's like a row of people, and you're trying to like,
oh God,
and you're trying to get out of the strip club seats, and you're just like, oh, stop, oh,
boom, boom. It's like the door stoppers. It's getting flicked over and over again. All right, so any more movies? Anybody? You got any
I'm trying to remember some opening that people mentioned
on the Facebook chat.
Mentioned Saturday Night Fever, which is it's kind of a famous scene where John Travolta is walking through the streets of New York,
right?
Yeah, and it's all right, it's okay, you can. Staying Alive is playing.
I like the thought process behind that, trying to get to the damn song.
To watch. What about Apocalypse Now? Did that have a?
I think it was a copter flying into Nam and
to the Valkyries.
No, that was that was in the movie.
Yeah.
It was To the Doors. The End was the song.
Yeah, in the movie was
because there's a whole setup, and he goes, "It scares the shit out of them when we play this," and they turn it on, and they're. But the opening scene was, I think, The Doors, The End, and it was just a copter coming in, and then it cuts to like Martin Sheen, but he's in Hanoi, like in his room, talking about his issues or whatever.
Yeah.
You're right.
Is that the way that opens?
Yeah, I think so. We got a couple of suggestions here. One's American Pie. How does American Pie start?
What?
I completely forget how that movie begins.
That's not where he's boning the pie.
No, that's later.
No, that's in the middle because remember his friend tells him
what's
it like,
and
he goes warm apple pie. No, he streams. He's streaming his room. No, he's streaming the chick.
Oh, that's right, Nadia.
Remember? Yeah.
What was that? Was that Shannon Elizabeth?
Shannon Elizabeth. Or Elizabeth Shannon.
Shannon Elizabeth.
Another one that got brought up a couple times today was From Dusk Till Dawn, that opening scene where they rob the convenience store and then they end up blowing it up.
That was good. That was a good scene.
But Quentin Tarantino, I think any opening scene from Quentin Tarantino is a pretty damn good.
I don't think he directed that.
Good choice, huh?
I don't think he directed that.
I thought he wrote it though. Because wasn't that one split too? Because I thought he directed the first half and Robert Rodriguez did the second. Kind of like
From Dusk Till Dawn. No, that was one movie.
Yeah, I know, but I could have sworn that they split the directing duties of that movie, where it was Quentin Tarantino at the beginning and Robert Rodriguez in the second half.
I thought he was just an actor in it, which seemed odd to me that Quentin Tarantino
would act in a movie that's not his.
in a movie that he.
Oops, why did I look up Pulp Fiction?
Quentin Tarantino did that one.
Yeah. Another one that has been brought up a couple of times is Tombstone, the opening scene of Tombstone. And quite frankly, as many times as I've seen it, I can't fathom what the opening scene is.
That's where he rides into the Mexican town and they're having the wedding. And Curly Bill, played by Powers Booth, along with
Powers Booth,
Johnny Ringo, ride in, and it's like they have the sashes. It's like somebody killed a couple cowboys. So they shoot the groom. And then they go over and start enjoying the feast of the wedding, the thing. And then the Mexican priest comes over and starts speaking in Spanish. And the guy can't translate. He's something about a sick horse. He goes, your Spanish is as bad as your something else. He said a pale horse. Death rides upon me.
It's a damn good movie. We need to go watch Tombstone. Have you seen Tombstone? Please tell me.
Yeah, I've seen it, but almost every movie we've talked about, I don't remember how they started.
That's the thing too. Is like a lot of movies I forget how they start. And I think it's because it takes me a while to get into a movie.
But you remember now, right?
Yeah. But to naturally remember, because usually, especially if I'm watching something at home, I'll be doing something else.
Just putting them over so you just
don't want to snack on them, don't you? Because if I'm watching something at home, I'll be doing something else. I'll be checking my phone or goofing around on my iPad or something like that. And then it'll be about 10, 15 minutes into the movie is when it gets my full focus and everything gets put away.
But for me, since the topic is great opening scenes or opening sequences, if it's a movie you've seen, the opening scene should be memorable enough that you remember it. So I would say, that was a pretty memorable scene.
And that's why I'd go with Saving Private Ryan kind of being the
Any Kevin Smith movies? That would have been open.
Not really opening scene. He makes really good scenes and good dialogue. Yeah. But I don't know if an opening scene is really.
Raiders of the Lost Ark. It was just great. Just the way they shot it and the action going into the thing and getting the idol and.
I'd say that's probably top 3 at least.
No, the opening scene from American Pie is when his parents catch him wanking it in the sock.
Oh yeah. Oh.
Are you about to tell us how he caught you wanking it in the sock?
No, never.
Well, because he a light bulb hit. Shit,
that's happened to me. It did remind me of another great scene, which is not another teen movie, which is probably based off of that first scene from American Pie. But that's when the girl, you know which movie that is, right? Not another teen movie.
Mm-hmm. Not really. It's one of those spoofs of all the teen movies.
It was like one of Chris Evans' first movies, and it had Presley, whatever her name Presley is from My Name Is Earl.
Jamie Presley.
Yeah. And so the first scene is
Molly Ringwald's in it too.
The first scene is the girl, the lead, and she is masturbating with a dildo or vibrator, and then it's her birthday, and her mom comes in with a cake, and her dad comes in, and the priest comes in, and the the dog and the brother, and then the vibrator ends up in the cake.
It's a funny movie.
Memorable.
That's memorable.
I got a quiz for you.
Eli says Whoppers, ew, gross. Eli, go to hell. Whoppers are the best. But the reason we're doing snacks is because we were talking about if you're going into a movie theater or something and you need to get into your seat, which this doesn't really happen in movie theaters now because they have that, you don't have to do it at Alamo Draft House. And even the Cinemarks, they got those big recliners. You don't need to really, don't touch it.
It's much worse in, like at the Abraham Chavez.
It's going to be it's going to be a stadium or a concert venue that we're kind of talking about because movie theaters now, they've got it down to where you're not sitting in these tiny little seats. Where's your quiz?
Oh, so I mentioned that Raiders of the Lost Ark is one of my favorite opening scenes. Do you remember how the other Indiana Jones movies opened?
Oh, get your chocolate balls out of my crotch.
So, Indiana Jones.
Let's name them. Let's name them.
The Temple of Doom. How does that one open?
I don't remember.
It's in the Chinese nightclub, and the band is playing, and they're singing in Chinese.
Oh, is he wearing a tuxedo?
He's wearing a white tuxedo.
Is that when we first
meet
Data?
He hides behind the gong, and the gong's rolling, and he runs behind it. He jumps out in the seat, and Short Round is driving with the. So that was the whole opening sequence. Or maybe you consider the opening sequence all the way until they're they jump out of the airplane in the raft, which inflates in midair.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, yes. And the third one, Last Crusade, starts with him. River Phoenix is Indiana Jones.
River Phoenix is the young Indiana Jones, and you find out how he got his scar,
his whip.
how he got his
Oh, that
whip,
was memorable too.
why he hates snakes.
Yeah,
It's true.
And then the fourth installment.
Never saw it.
You never saw Crystal Skull?
Fuck no.
Well, it's shit.
That's why I didn't see it.
And it's an
I
opening
eat this.
scene where
They're clean. They're good.
I don't want your balls.
Eat them.
Your balls have been on the floor.
Here.
You were just about to give me floor balls.
Cup them.
I don't want to.
Cup them. Thank you.
okay, so the opening scene, Russians this time, not the Germans. The Russians are trying to steal an artifact.
Election.
Oh, you're talking Crystal Skull?
Yeah, Crystal Skull. They're trying to steal something from Area 51.
Yes.
And Indiana Jones tracks him. Anyway, Indiana Jones, it's a long opening sequence. So he finds himself in the middle of a nuclear.
That wasn't even close, dude.
An A-bomb test range, and he climbs inside a refrigerator and survives a nuclear explosion by climbing in a refrigerator.
Oh, yeah.
So that's why they, some people say the term jump the shark has been replaced by nuke the fridge. It's like that. Indiana Jones as a series.
Is it like the Lethal Weapon
Nuke the
scene
fridge.
when the guy puts the bomb on the toilet and then he's got to drag him into the bathtub and that's how they survive the explosion, is hiding in the bathtub?
That was a pretty good opening scene.
Lethal
Was
Weapon?
that opening?
Lethal Weapon was mentioned by one of the...
Lethal Weapon.
But that wasn't Lethal Weapon 1. That was like Lethal Weapon... in the chat, if you guys know which one we're talking about, it's the one where Danny Glover is on the toilet and they find the bomb and then Mel Gibson shows up and then he's like 1, 2, 3 and they pull him into the bathtub and there's a huge explosion in the house and he ends up in there. Is it number 4, the one that had Joe Pesci in it and Chris Rock?
Yes, 4 was Chris Rock and Jet Li's very first American movie.
Okay, the first Lethal Weapon opens at Christmas, just like Die Hard does, except there's this Jingle Bell Rock is playing, and then it's a chick
Jingle bell, jingle
at
bell
the
rock.
top of a
Jingle
very
bell,
fancy
jingle
hotel,
bell.
and she's doing drugs. It shows her doing cocaine, and then she climbs out on the balcony, and she jumps to her death and lands on the car. That was the opening scene of the first Lethal Weapon.
Yes, that's right. So I can't remember which one. If anybody in the chat knows,
James Bond movie. You never die. You never die twice. No, you only live once. No. Which is the one where he dies in the beginning scene? Like he's murdered by a prostitute, and then they show that he's actually been alive.
That is you only die twice.
Gold member.
You only live twice. You only live twice.
Oh
I
my
have
God.
seen every James Bond movie. You only
James Bond.
You only live twice.
Only
Live twice.
twice. Ooh, what's the car? Is it an
It's an
Aston Martin?
Yeah,
Mhm.
of course it's an Aston Martin. And the gun is a Walther PPK.
You want to know why? Because you go pee pee. Okay.
Oh my God. I want to use that gun to kill myself now.
But you can't say K afterwards if you kill yourself with that gun. Okay, well, Eli, that doesn't help. He says it's either part 2 or part 3. Like, we want a definitive answer on which Lethal Weapon it is. But it starts with him on the shitter.
I know for a fact that the first Lethal Weapon was the one where the blonde, and her boobs are out, and she jumps to her death. That was the first.
Lethal Weapon 2 is the one. I just looked it up. Oh, we're
And is that the opening scene when Danny Glover's on the
I believe so, yeah.
Spinal Tap?
Wait, no. That's not the opening scene. That's in the middle of the movie.
What was the opening scene from Spinal Tap?
I don't know.
Yeah, see, this is not the opening scene, but this is the one that I'm talking about, where it's Mel Gibson, and you got Danny Glover on the crapper.
What happened to Danny Glover?
He morphed into Donald Glover.
No, I'm serious. Danny Glover at one time.
No, he did. He totally did.
Danny Glover's retired.
It's the same guy.
Is he retired?
He's dead.
He's Donald Glover's
He's not
dad.
No, he's not. He's none of those things.
He's Donald
I'm
Glover's
just saying
dad.
there was a time when Danny Glover was in 4, 5, 6 movies a year.
When do you think the last movie Danny Glover was in?
He's probably been in something, but I'm talking about like a movie that.
Dude, tell me he doesn't look like Morgan Freeman right
He's starting
there.
to look like Morgan Freeman.
Holy shit.
And Morgan Freeman also is an actor who has been in so many movies in a year, you don't know how it's possible.
Oh, how could we forget Gladiator? The opening scene is the
That's
battle.
good. Yeah,
that's
that's
the
good.
battle against the Gauls. And
At my signal, unleash
Unleash
hell.
hell.
Danny
Remember
Glover's
the
still
Gauls
been
show
working.
up and they yell in Gaulish, and they do they? How does the head get over there? Do they throw the head, or somebody? They throw it, right? They throw the head
because they had sent the messenger on a horse with his head chopped off already before that.
And then the head comes over,
yeah.
right?
Dude, Danny Glover's been doing like 6 movies a year. Look at this.
Yeah, but
2016.
name one that I would have seen.
None.
Yeah.
But
I mean, it's one thing to still be working if you're Danny Glover, but I'm saying he's not in blockbusters and he's not in.
like, here's the thing. In 2013, he was in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 movies. In 2014, he was in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 movies. In 2015, he was in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 movies.
Yeah, but I've never heard of any of these movies.
The only one is Dirty Grandpa.
Dirty
Wasn't that the
Grandpa.
one with Robert De Niro?
Yeah.
He was in a movie called Monster Trucks. Was that the one that was for
Dirty
kids?
Grandpa with Robert De Niro, or is that the one with Johnny Knoxville?
Dirty Grandpa, I think, was the one with Robert De Niro. The one with Johnny Knoxville was...
Oh, yeah, Monster Trucks was the one where there's a monster
Inside
living
the truck.
in the truck.
Yeah.
You mean Monster Truck was an actual
Monster in the truck!
Which was the one with Bad Grandpa? Dirty Grandpa was Robert De Niro. Bad Grandpa was Johnny Knoxville.
Okay, you know another actor.
I thought he was Santa Claus. Bad Santa.
There's another actor.
Who? What?
I don't know.
There's another actor that went from being in a dozen movies a year. I mean, so many movies.
Who?
I'm going to tell you.
Oh, I thought you already said, and I wasn't paying attention.
Lou Gossett Jr. I actually, at the beginning of the night, like 92, 93, I thought Lou Gossett Jr. had passed away. And then he shows up in a very small part in Blue Chips, which came out like in 94.
Yeah, with Nick Nolte.
But there was a
as
time
the head
when
coach with Shaquille O'Neal, Penny Hardaway, Rick Fox. No, that was Rick Fox was in.
Rick Fox was in.
He Got Game.
He Got Game.
Where he takes Jesus Shuttlesworth to go hook up with the chicks to get him to sign with his school.
Okay, so I mean, how does somebody's career just stop like at a brick wall like that? You know, it would be like if tomorrow Morgan Freeman just quit being in movies that you see, and not because he's dead or became ill or something. It's just,
isn't that what? Who's your actor that you like?
Well, it could be like Rick Moranis.
Didn't he give up being an actor from one day to another?
Yeah, but you know what the story is. He quit acting. Daniel Day-Lewis quit acting and learned the craft of cobbling shoes for like 5 or 6 years, but then he came back to acting, but supposedly he's retired again. But he doesn't make 10 movies a year. He makes one movie every 5 years.
Yeah. Your sweater's still freaking me out on the screen there, Nico. All right. So this will pretty much wrap up this edition of the AfterBuzz, unless you guys got anything else. Do we want to... We can't really put a final bow on which do you go crotch to...
I mean,
ass or crotch?
That's just funny to imagine. I don't think there's an answer.
Yeah. Because everybody's dealt with it. I mean, everybody has to do it at some point, right?
What if there's somebody that has like a phobia of laps and they just say, no, I won't even sit. I'll just move on. Unless there's a corner.
That's what he did.
I gave up.
He did. And you said, fuck it.
I did.
He got see, on the air he won't admit that, but here he will, and now we have it as recorded proof. Because he started to scoot in, and we were like 5 or 6, and I take it back, you're about 7 or 8 in, because you had to sit past us. And I see Buzz show up, and it's already like 20 minutes into the show at this point. And he's right, though. There was the Phantom of the Opera. There was Cinco de Mayo. There was a Chihuahua game. Like, there was like 4 or 5 different things going on.
All downtown.
And there's no fucking parking. And I had to take him to his car at the end of the show. And he parked over by St. Patrick's Cathedral.
Yeah, that's right.
And
he parked on the other side of I-10?
Oh, yeah. I had to walk from, like, St. Patrick's Cathedral.
Yeah.
Where I parked.
Yeah.
All the way.
That makes no sense to me.
There were no
that's how full it was downtown.
They had the guys in the front of the garage. No moms.
So he gets like 2 to 3 people in, or not even 2 to 3. I think it was like the first person. So he gets like the first person in, and then he's doing it for the fucking TV. So now you just like floating hands.
Okay.
So Buzz gets like to the first person, and he takes one step, And you went crotch first on this one because you were facing me because I could hear you. And he looks there and you can see the look of despair on his face. Like, I can't believe I have to get all the way over there to get to my seat. And he goes, fuck it. And he just fucking turns around and walks away.
Beginning of Half Baked. That was good.
What was the beginning of that movie?
Where they're both getting high.
Well, no, is that the one where it shows them as kids, or did that come up later?
Yeah.
Because remember when he tells a story about how people who smoke weed for the first time, they don't actually feel high? Yeah. But weed is like, abba zabba, you my only friend.
They talk about, they're kids.
That's the opening scene of that movie? Are you sure?
No, actually.
Shocking that a movie called Half Baked, we wouldn't remember the beginning of it. But anyway, that's going to be it for this edition
Gangs of New York had a good opening scene.
Oh, the battle.
Big fight. Oh, shit,
That's a great one. That's one of the best. That's one of the best. Sometimes I'll only watch Gangs of New York for that battle, and then the last battle.
Yeah. It is being noticed now that Buzz is sitting directly underneath the butt stuff 69.
and he goes butt first.
But yeah, so next week I'm going to be in Disneyland, and so I think I'm going to do an AfterBuzz from the road.
Can you do that?
Yeah, why not?
What was the technological thing today that you blew my mind? Oh, that I can watch YouTube while sitting on my couch and watching my TV.
Because he has a fire.
Watch it on your phone.
No, he has a Fire Stick. And I was telling you, there's this show called History Buffs that actually go through every movie and see what was correct and what wasn't.
And it's on YouTube, and I was like, I wish it was on like History Channel so I could watch it on TV.
I was like, no, you can just watch YouTube on your TV. He's got a Fire Stick.
Oh, you didn't realize that you could watch YouTube on your television?
I did.
Oh, I thought what he was saying is he didn't realize that he could watch YouTube while also watching his TV. Like, he didn't realize that he could be watching a YouTube video on his phone. I can only do one. And while his TV's... See, that's what I'm constantly doing. Like, when I'm starting a movie, that's what's usually happening. Is... like, I'll be watching, like, a YouTube video or something while the opening scene's happening. But, yeah, so... Yeah, you didn't know that? You got your old Fire Stick there? Did you ever find the actual remote, or are you still using the phone? I mean, it's... You know,
I can't find that remote.
It's not bad, but...
David, are you trying to hook up with Kim through the chat?
Why? What's he saying?
He's like, hey, Kim, do you have my Gmail account, if I remember correctly?
Are you on my Insta, Kim?
I looked for it, but no, sir, I don't.
Oh, goodness gracious.
I know you had emailed me a couple of times to that address. So to get that chat link.
You know they're getting rid of taxicab confessions. We can have chat room hookups.
David B. and K. Truth. Intrigue.
All right, you guys finish that. I'm gonna shut it down. So hopefully next week I'll see you guys. What are you getting up for? We gotta make it. I gotta scoot past the bus here the way I normally would. So am I gonna go? Oh, there we go.
Oh, that reminds me of a joke. Can I tell the joke first?
Yeah, say it.
What did Cinderella say when she got to the ball?
Where's the other one?
Is the answer to the joke.
That's really funny.
Mine was better, wasn't it?
No, just fucking ruined the joke.
Buzz fucking hates it when I tell better jokes than him. He absolutely... Look at his face. Look at his face. He's so upset. All right, bye, everybody. We'll see you next week in Disneyland.